Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Freestyle Friday, where it's just me, you, and the mic. So today, before we get started, if you're listening, go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode, upload it to your Instagram story, tag me at Travis Chappell. That way I can go over there and say what's up, have a quick conversation. And then also, if you want to watch some of these episodes on Freestyle Friday or some of the interviews that I'm doing, then head over to travischappell.com/YouTube, because we're actually putting up a decent amount of content over on YouTube now. So if that's how you prefer to watch, then definitely check us out over there. Today, I want to give a review on a book that I've read recently called How to Get a Meeting with Anyone. It is one of the best networking books that I've ever read, along with Give and Take and Never Eat Alone. Probably those are my top three. But How to Get a Meeting with Anyone was really, really great in terms of actual practical strategy, things that you can implement into your business, into your podcast, YouTube channel, whatever it is that you do, into the book that you're writing, just really good practical things. And the thing that I like about it is that it actually gives a lot of the behind the scenes secret stuff. Some of the things that I actually go into in my training, Explode Your Network, which will go a little bit more in depth into some of the concepts from that book, and just a lot of different ones that they don't cover over there. And it'll update a lot of the things, like some of the social profile things are a little bit outdated, but for the most part, it's really good information. And by the way, if you want to check out that training, it's over at travischappell.com/explode. And you can let me know how that goes for you. But anyway, back to the book. So as you guys know, I obviously am not going to give away everything that the book talks about. If you want to, definitely go pick it up, How to Get a Meeting with Anyone. You can check out the show notes. We should have a link to go buy it on Amazon, but I promise it's worth the read. And obviously for any listeners of this show, if you want to go check it out on Audible, you can do that. How to Get a Meeting with Anyone over on Audible. And you can do that, get a free trial, and we'll have the link for the Audible free trial in the show notes as well. So that being said, there are a few things in this book that I really wanted to point out for everybody, because I think that they're actually really, really good points. And when I first started reading it, was really interesting, because when I first started reading it, I thought that, it was going to bring up a bunch of things that I'd never even thought about, or whatever, that things that I don't even teach. And starting going through the book, it was just like, man, this is pretty much exactly what I teach, just a little bit more practical and a little bit for different purposes, because most of the things that I teach are more for solopreneurs and podcasters, people like that. And whereas this book's written more for C-level type executives or sales managers trying to get a hold of C-level type executives. And so it's a little bit different, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff is still the same. That's why I like this book a lot, because it's not one of those traditional networking books that teaches you to, write your elevator pitch and perfect your business card and things like that. And those, as you guys know, if you listen to the show at all, you know that I'm not about those older ways of networking. I'm more about the newer ways of building relationships. And this book, I think, does a really good job of kind of differentiating between those two things. So a couple of the things that I learned in this book, or really confirmed, I guess, in this book that I want to share with you guys are, first of all, contact marketing campaigns can have 100% success rates. And I had never even thought of this as a form of marketing before, to be honest. I always looked at it as just networking, like building relationships, being genuine and adding value and getting your foot in the door. But the way that Stu describes it, the author of the book, is he talks about it as contact marketing. So an actual literal form of marketing that companies that he's consulted and worked with have spent, thousands and thousands of dollars on these types of marketing campaigns, and which was really eye-opening to me to know that the things that I'm teaching, people are actually using at an executive level and seeing really great results on them, and spending tens of thousands of dollars to try to make them happen. So the crazy thing about it is most marketing campaigns are lucky to have like a 1% success rate. Like, you send out a bunch of different marketing pieces and you're lucky to have 1% of those people do business with you. So to have anything that performs at 100% success rate, it should have our attention, no matter what it is that we do. If we're a small business owner, if we're a solopreneur, like a real estate agent, a lender, if we're a podcaster, an online marketer, a digital marketing agency, social media, whatever it is that you do, those types of numbers should draw your attention. 100% success rate is unheard of, especially in a marketing world. So if you can figure out a way to jump into that 100%, like, man, even getting close, even getting halfway there, like, you're still doing better than most people. So definitely definitely check out this book if you want to learn some of the exact strategies that Stu goes into on how to have better success rates, because there's definitely ways to do it wrong and waste a lot of money, and ways to do it right and make a good amount of money and come away with some really good relationships. The second thing, one of the big things that was confirmed for me in this book, was doing your research. It amazes me how many people will spend money on some of these things, and they try to everybody's looking for the shortcut. Right. So in these contact marketing campaigns, it's really important to know the person that you're talking to and send them something specific to their situation that allows you to get into the door. And a lot of people will look for ways to automate every single part of all the processes in their business. And this is one of the things that they do. They'll shortcut the process, and they'll buy one gift that they send to 100 people that is no longer personalized to each person, because they're trying to take care of it in one fell swoop. And so when you're trying to look at these different companies or different people, these C-level executives, or maybe people that you want on your podcast, or maybe people that you're trying to do business with their marketing agency, whatever it is, when you're trying to look at these people, you have to know things about them so that you can send them personalized things that actually make it through all the other noise. Because everybody can send just generic items. Everybody can send little tiny things that everybody like. There's something that John Ruhlin goes over in his book Giftology that is really solid, which by the way is another really good book, talking a little bit about the same things. There's definitely some crossover between these two, but that's something that he talks about a lot, is that, you know, sending somebody a gift card isn't going to be the thing that makes a difference in their mind, but sending something personalized does. So when you're sending out some of these things to try to get a hold of people, make sure that it's not just, you're not trying to shortcut it, that you didn't just do the same thing for 100 people because like, oh, you know, it's just a numbers game. Well, if you're trying to get up to those 80 to 100% success rates, then it's not just a numbers game. It's a quality game. How well do you know that person, and how much work did you put into doing that particular product or service, or whatever it is that you sent over to them? So do your research and figure out likes and dislikes, and figure out which person in the company is best to talk to. Figure out all those things beforehand, or else you might end up wasting a good amount of money. Lastly, this is a huge one. This one that I teach a lot, and this is something that I go into a little bit into my training, the Explode Your Network training. Executive assistants are your friends, not your enemies. Everybody has it backwards. Everybody thinks executive assistants are the enemy. They're the ones that always block you. They're the gatekeeper that makes sure that nobody gets in to talk to the person of interest. And if you do it the wrong way, that's exactly what it is. They are the gatekeeper for a reason, to stop people like you who don't do the research from getting in touch with the person who everybody's trying to get in touch with. That's what their job is. But if you talk to a bunch of these CEOs, if you talk to a bunch of these people with the executive assistants, they look at those people as extensions of them, as extensions of their family. And so when you are making their lives more difficult, when you are trying to go over their head, when you're trying to cut them out of the picture as an executive assistant, that person is not going to respond to you properly, or is not going to respond to you well. It actually might be proper response that you don't think is proper, because you're like, oh, that's rude. But it was rude of you to go over the person that they put in place in their organization to take care of people like you. So make sure that you respect that hierarchy that's in place, and just figure out ways to be valuable to those executive assistants. Make friends with the executive assistants. Like, if you have the ear of the assistant, you'll have the ear of that person. But don't do it in a way that says like, hey, I'll do this thing for you if you do this thing for me. It's not a favor for favor type thing. It goes back to the whole concept of networking to begin with, which is how to add value to people without expecting anything in return. And when you can do that effectively with a multitude of these executive assistants, the people who have the ear of the person that you really want to get a hold of or do business with eventually at some point in the future, if you can do that well, then you will prove to be successful in the long run. So contact marketing campaigns have 100% success rates. Do your research when you're looking at some of these things. And then remember that executive assistants are your friends, not your enemies. Those are just a few of the things that I've picked up from the book. And I'm not even quite finished with it so far. I still got a little bit to go. And I promise that if you pick up this book, you will not regret it. It is one of, like I said, top 3 networking books that I've ever read, and one of the best marketing in general books that I've ever read. So how to get a meeting with anyone, make sure to go check it out, and it'll probably be in the show notes, as well as the link to our Audible subscription, which you want to definitely check out if you don't have it. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time. Make sure to go upload this to your Instagram story, tag me at Travis Chappell. I can go over there and say what's up to you, and then check us out on YouTube. give us a shot on YouTube and go over to travischappell.com/YouTube and subscribe over there. Say what's up. And I'll catch you there, catch you in the Facebook group, on the podcast, or I'll catch you somewhere else, maybe at an event in the future. But thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.